Welcome to episode 214 of The Boys. On today's episode, I like and don't like the new Black Noir. God hangs some real dong. And Jesus slices and dices and even makes julienne fries. I'm your host, Robert, and with me is Donnell. We're talking about episode 1, 2, and 3 of season 4 of The Boys. But first, we got some news.
Yeah, kind of news, kind of not. I just
make it fast, Donnell. We got 3 episodes.
We watched Furiosa a couple weeks back.
We did watch
and
Furiosa. It was fantastic. Didn't do well at the box office.
That sucks. It really should have
mixed
done
reviews. I mean, I don't think it has mixed reviews. I think it was really good.
Yeah,
it was really good.
Yeah,
it's got a good rating. It was just a bad time to release a movie, and you know,
bad weekend.
Inflation's crazy.
Yep.
But it's going to do well on streaming.
Oh, yeah. It's going to kill it on streaming. It's going to murder streaming.
Which is sad because it's really a movie you wanted to see in IMAX.
Yeah. One of the reviews I saw for it actually was like, I don't like it. I was like, I don't regret seeing it in theaters. I think that's the best way to see it. But one thing that was brought up was, why no Charlize Theron in it? Why no, why didn't she reprise her role? Also, in it, we get to see Mad Max, but it's Tom Hardy's stunt double. And
I thought it was going to be Mel Gibson and that they were going to have him save her. And I was like, I both do and don't like that, you know.
And then also, what's the future of the franchise? Well, I found out. Look a couple things up. So we may never see, at least with that cast, we may never see another Mad Max.
Because the money, it didn't make it. Oh
no. The reason why Charlize Theron wasn't in it, why Tom Hardy wasn't in it, and why they probably in the future is apparently, according to the director of Mad Max, Tom Hardy and Charlize Theron grew to hate each other while filming this movie. Charlize Theron says this was literally one of the worst movies she ever shot.
I have read that.
And she hated every moment. So I was like, oh, that's why she didn't return.
I mean, Anya Taylor-Joy hated it too.
Yeah. So, but I was like, oh, so that explains why she didn't return. That explains why Tom Hardy didn't stop in for a cameo. And I was like, also probably not getting them back for a sequel.
I'd be surprised if George Miller would do another one because he got screwed in money wise. Like he had to sue him.
Oh, really?
And stuff for returns on the profit.
Never even knew that. But I just thought that was interesting. I was like, well, that explains why. Anya Taylor-Joy did a great job, but that movie does go right up into Fury Road.
I wouldn't be upset if we didn't get another one.
Yeah.
I mean, the newer ones have been fine, but they don't capture the magic of the older ones.
Yeah. You know. It's no Thunderdome.
It is no Thunderdome. It is no Thunderdome. They missed a real opportunity to first they should have had Mel Gibson as an older guy. Then they should have brought in Lady Gaga or something, to be the Tina Turner of the show.
Yeah.
And they could have done a lot and they didn't. They just it's badass. It's fun.
Yeah.
But I'll still take Thunderdome or Road Warrior over Fury Road any day of the week.
Yeah.
Or Furiosa for that matter. Yeah.
All right. Let's get into these
Let's do it. There's so much.
Yes.
It's so much. This wasn't just 3 episodes. This is 3 thick episodes.
Yeah. Watching these, I was like, damn.
What's the name of the first episode, Don?
First episode we have is Department of Dirty Tricks. Department of Dirty Tricks.
All right, then.
Yeah.
All right, then.
So I think that we're referring to The Boys.
Thank God they gave us a kind of extended last time on because
I meant to rewatch last season and I didn't. And then I was like, crap. But yeah, that extended last time on was great. I liked the start out of having the Sex Pistols, God Save the Queen, playing when they were so on Victoria
all
Newman.
3 of these episodes. The music has been a cut above for sure. Yeah.
One thing, did we get clear during Gen V? Does C and the one, I can't remember what the main character's chick, but the blood chick, they have the same power?
Yeah.
Was
they have the same
okay.
Power, yeah.
I knew they both could explode heads or but I was like, did they make it clear so the thing is she only uses it to explode heads, but she could be.
Well, we don't know if she only uses it to explode heads. We just only really outside of Gen V seen her do that.
Yeah.
But she's got other blood related powers for sure.
Right.
Yeah.
But starting out with Victoria Newman, and then we get to see the boys, and reckon Mother's Milk lost some weight.
He does look different in this, yeah.
Yeah, I literally stopped. When I first saw him, I was like, who's this new black guy?
I did. Up through episode 3, I was trying to figure out if it was a different actor.
And then I had subtitles on and it said Mother's Milk and when he spoke. And I was like, who is, they recast him? But I was like, no, same dude. He just lost some weight. Laz Onslow also Onslow. I don't know. That just definitely lost some weight. But I feel like either we didn't see him in the trailers, or maybe I just wasn't paying attention because I feel like like I said, it was jarring to me when I first saw him.
Gotcha.
But
yeah, it starts out with a political rally
mm-hmm.
for the election night of the president.
Yep.
And we've got Newman, who is vice VP. Oddly enough, the president doesn't show up in this until episode I guess he shows up later in this episode. 2. Yeah,
and for sure episode. For sure episode 2 might be on one.
For a second there, I thought that Butcher was doing a third wall break.
Yeah.
When he's in the alleyway throwing up and he turns to the camera and says shut up. But it turns out later on we find out that he's by the way, spoilers, obviously.
Yes.
Is that he's talking to his wife.
Talking to his dead wife.
Yeah.
I gotta say, I'm glad. I'm not sure if it was the first episode or if it was episode 2 when they revealed. But he's talking to someone and we don't know right off bat.
Yeah.
I was like, how long were they gonna drag this out before they revealed?
They did not drag it on.
I was glad. No, I was very glad. I was like, oh, thank you. I don't need a whole 7 episodes of an 8-episode season of Butcher talking to someone.
Yeah, they could have drug that out all season in some shows. Yeah.
And I was just so glad that it was they're like, nope, here you go. Here's your. It's like, thank you. So I just have a lot of questions. Like I said, I didn't watch season 3 again, but even in this season, they made it very clear. It's we already know Homelander knows who the boys are.
Yeah.
And a lot of,
and they almost killed him.
Yeah. And they have I just can't figure out why their faces aren't plastered everywhere as public enemy number 1.
Because they got the government backing.
I
with
guess.
The CIA.
I guess. I also can't. I wrote this down for all 3 episodes when they kept either screwing up or pissing off their own people. How are they alive? How has Homelander not just kicked in the door, murdered them, and then you just get someone to cut?
That is surprising, and we kind of get to that in episode 3. But,
yeah.
I mean, you have to remember at this stage, Vought is still just a business.
Yeah.
They are not interlaced with the government.
I mean, they're pretty interlaced. That's one thing that we see in the present. Once again, jump to episode 3. The president's literally talking about how much Vought is intertwined with the government. He wants to get them out.
Yeah, in the military and doing vigilante stuff. But they're not. They don't have soups in the CIA.
No.
The CIA has probably developed some soups.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But there's Vought is not controlling the CIA or NSA and all that stuff.
Right.
I'm sure there's connections here and there, but at the end of the day, they're separate entities.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what this season is shaping up to be.
Mm-hmm.
Is Vought, the soups taking over the government.
Yes.
But right now the government is kind of over them.
True.
Not in physical strength, but in stuff.
I still feel like you could take out, maybe not Homelander style because he's kind of bombastic when he does stuff, but I feel like you could, a little A-train and just quick bling blam boom and they're dead and then get rid of the bodies and then just because so they're basically, anyways, let's get back to it.
They got plot armor.
Yeah.
Plot armor.
The boys are trying to assassinate Victoria Newman.
I love that the Secret Service is in.
Mm-hmm.
They're just hey, we're coming up to kill the VP. Let us in the door, and they're like, "Here's the key card."
Yeah, they're sneaking in. I mean, we eventually find out because the president's freaking behind it. The president wants her dead. But anyways, so they're going on this mission, and I gotta say,
by the way, this is a big mission.
Yeah,
you're going to kill the VP candidate on election night.
On election night,
they are fucking around.
Oh no,
Butcher should not be here.
Butcher should not.
He's
be
not
there.
Putting on the outfit.
Yeah,
he's puking in the alley.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like,
all of them.
Everybody should be. Yeah, everybody's having personal conversations, and I'm just like, no, you are on mission focus.
Yeah,
for 24 hours.
Yeah.
And then you're disappearing forever.
Yep.
If this works.
And never all to be seen in the same room together ever again.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they're doing this mission. We got Kimiko and Frenchie going into I guess they were gonna, and I think this would have worked. They were putting acid in one of her drinks.
Eye drops.
Oh, eye drops. Yeah, that would definitely work. Yeah, sure. Just splashing.
We don't know.
I feel like it would work.
I mean, I like to think of it as the Superman idea where he gets shot in the eye with a bullet, and it still just bounces off.
I hate that so much about Superman. So this is outside of the episodes, but so watching Homelander this season, and he in this first episode, he was leaning this way at the end of last season, but way in it where he's like, I'm a supreme being. I'm above
Yeah.
everyone else.
Yeah.
And
Everybody else is just toys for his amusement.
It made me realize why Superman sucks. Finally, I've always thought Superman sucks, and I finally realized it is having a being this powerful.
You always have to take him down a notch somehow.
Yeah, take him down, but also just with all those powers and making him like that scene is like he not. If you have all those powers, like there's a storyline of Superman where he actually like, besides Injustice, there's another storyline of Superman where he takes over the world. He just realizes it's better if I rule. I'm like, that's having him be perfect, not just because of his powers, but like Clark Kent and Superman are the Boy Scout superhero. And I'm like, but having him be perfect in all aspects, like it makes no sense. Why wouldn't he be like, well, and rightly so in Clark Kent's case, be like, I'm the supreme being. I should be ruling. And I'm like, and so that's what I was like, you got to have flaws in order so you can understand why you might, like, if Superman was a good guy but flawed, you'd be like, he realizes he can't rule because we need to just do an episode
talking about Superman because I don't know if we have time for this.
Anyways,
my thoughts on Superman is he's not a crime fighter.
No.
He is a disaster stopper.
Mm-hmm.
Right? He is stopping accidents.
Yep.
Bridges falling.
Yep.
Buses crashing into people, alien invasions,
plane crashes,
right. He is not down there stopping bank robbers and stuff.
No,
in my book, right?
Yeah.
Because once you go, I'm going to stop the crime to help people, then it's like, well, naturally, then you have to go after the bankers, the pedophiles, everybody. Yeah, then it never stops, right?
Yeah, and then eventually you get to that point where like, well, then I'll just impose my rule.
No,
that's how it ends.
Eventually, you hear a woman crying who's been trapped in a basement being raped for 40 years with her dozen kids who can't stand up all the way because the roof isn't tall enough. And then you go and find them and you go full Rorschach. Because at some point, if Batman gets into the crime game and actually saving people all over the world, he's going to realize this has to stop.
Yeah.
And then he just takes over.
Yep.
I don't see a scenario where he stays good.
Yeah, exactly.
Unless he stays out of the game.
Gotta stay
Unless he's just dealing with like a global, like
natural
tsunamis
disasters
and stuff.
Global shit. Yeah.
He can't. Yeah, that's the only way he stays pure because in nature, unbeatable.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
I mean, Superman might be able to beat nature. But,
I mean, turn
because
back
hangs
time.
out in the sun long enough. But like, yeah, I'm with you. Okay. Anyway.
Anyway, let's get back into it. So,
but that's not Homelander's thing, right? He's already like
exactly
I'm above the humans. You know,
exactly.
He's more of a Magneto type, I think.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah.
But I mean, Magneto's kind of just like I want to protect the mutants. But there's a little bit of him that's like, we're better than the humans.
Oh, yeah.
Than the Reggies.
He goes that way the more that they persecute mutants. Like, in the beginning, it's just like, I just want my people to be safe. And then the more mutants get persecuted, it's like, you know what?
But Homelander's definitely like, no, we're an evolved race.
And he sees himself as the evolved of the evolved race.
Yeah.
Also.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Anyways, back into it.
But he's got a flaw. He's aging.
This
threw me off for the first couple of episodes with him just using the bathroom and pulling gray hairs out, and saving them in a jar. We're gonna dance between multiple episodes here a little bit. I was like, I didn't understand what that was at first until like one guy until Sage specifically said, "Hey, you're getting old."
I say that's a weird little shrine he got going on. Yeah, he got his milk bottle.
It is not the girlfriend.
Photo of his Nazi girlfriend, and then for whatever reason, a jar of his gray hairs. And I'm just like, what the fuck's
gray
going on? Gray pubic hairs, yes.
So I thought that he was immortal or like he was long lived because how old? He's only like 30, 40.
Yeah,
I guess that would be about the time you start really graying.
Yeah,
that's where I'm at. Boy, that's sad. Anyway, but Stormfront, she was like 100.
I mean, we have learned, especially in this season, a lot.
Like not all of them are immortal, or
I feel like what we kind of learned because like we kind of had a clearer picture. Like all soups seem to have the same core set of powers of like super strength, longer life, but I feel like it's to different degrees. Like, you know, Homelander's clearly stronger than that other, like Starlight and Maeve was stronger than like A-Train, but all of them are stronger than any human. So I feel like there's a core power asset of like you get super strength, durability, and longer life, but to what degree, along with if you get other powers like flight or laser vision, that's all up in the air. So I feel like all soups are stronger, live longer to some degree, and more durable. But then you might, like you said, you might get light powers or laser visions, or you might, in Stormfront's case, get really long life. Or, like, that's what I feel like it is.
She is also like one of the first soups too.
Mm-hmm,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe it's like survival stuff. Like she's the only one who lived that long. Yeah. Anyway, they break into the hotel room and they're swapping out the eye drops.
Yes.
And the daughter walks in.
Yes.
Who was given the soup serum last season.
Yep. And we got to see her power. And I'm like, this is one of those powers that's not making it into the hero reel.
She's a tremor.
Yeah.
She's a tremor.
Dude, those weird little things. She takes off Kimiko's arm.
I was not ready for the Kimiko arm coming off. Because I forgot what Kimiko's power was for a minute, and I was like, she's got no arm going forward. This whole season, she's going to have no arm. I'm like, and then it starts growing back like Deadpool.
I feel like her healing factor, and maybe it's just because like it's been discovered now or something, is a lot higher than it was when you originally saw it. Because like when he originally saw it was he got shot and died, except he didn't. And this happens again, once again, skipping to episode 2. So he gets shot again, and like she got up a lot quicker this time.
Her healing power is a little bit more fast and abrupt than before. So anyway, they end up jumping out of a window, and Kimiko, because she's got a little baby arm, doesn't
misses
catch
Starlight's hand
and smacks on the floor.
Go ahead. I was going to say, I am very surprised. I was like, I'm surprised we didn't get the face reveal.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
All the other stuff that they show us in this show,
I was like, are they going to pull their punches this season? And they clearly don't, as we find out later on. I thought we were going to see full
face, is skin flapped off. I'm like, oh, here we go. They're about to flip the camera on us, but then she just covers it up and
I'm
it heals.
surprised they didn't even do it for like a microsecond or something. Like,
I know.
Yeah,
I was like, what is going on?
They must have fired the head guy.
Oh, yeah.
Remember we talked about in previous seasons? It's the guy who's just sitting in a room with a bunch of like mannequin heads, like doing gruesome stuff to him, and
Before that, I forgot to bring up, we get to see Ryan also with Homelander.
Yep.
One is, man, making a show with kids is rough because Ryan grew up a lot in between seasons.
Yeah.
And I'm like, next season he's gonna be freaking deep baritone voice.
Taller than
Homelander. Yeah. But anyways, and then also we got to see that, Homelander, at least right now, I guess in that next episode, Ryan kind of comes back, but like he's fully indoctrinating Ryan into that like we're God beings life or thought mindset.
We get the VP Newman confronting Huey.
Yep, in the van.
Which I don't understand. Where I know the Secret Service is like kind of wanting her dead, but I'm like, no, she would be surrounded by Secret Service when she went to go.
Yeah, go anywhere.
Talk to Huey. Yeah,
even if not going to Huey,
she can't just walk. It is election night.
Yeah,
she cannot walk outside the hotel or wherever they're at and go to a random unmarked van and open the door without a ton of Secret Service like checking out what's going on.
Yeah. But yeah, they got. I love when she's talking to Huey like after. So they get in a little bit of a fight because Huey's upset because he thought they were friends and all that, and that she was truly someone fighting the same cause as him. When it turns out she's a soup, and throws some acid on her. And I just love when she goes to the allegory. Like, have you seen War Games? And she's like, of course you've seen War Games. Like, is that a nerd jab right there? It's like, come on. And I was like, I mean, yes, I have seen War Games, but still, come on. But yeah, see,
I totally forgot that they knew each other, honestly.
Yeah.
I feel like they're trying to make this relationship more than they portrayed it in previous seasons.
That's what I was saying. In the previous season, they had, or at the end of season 2, Huey joined her like coalition or whatever, and then during season 3 they showed them working together, but they didn't really seem like it seemed like
this almost seemed like they were family.
I'm gonna say in season 3 it seemed like she's the boss and I'm working under her and I believe in her cause, but like that doesn't mean you're close. And then in this like you said, it made it seem like they were like best friends hanging out, having a movie night and all that sort of stuff, and I'm just like, when was that?
Yeah.
Because I was like, I wrote that down. I was like, it seemed like Huey and Victoria were closer than but yeah, like I said, this whole operation, terrible.
Yeah.
And I gotta say, Newman even says it, and then like later on we learn for sure that Mother's Milk is running the show, and we get to see a few other operations. I gotta be honest, the boys really don't look good without Butcher at the helm. I'm not saying Butcher's great or anything, but I'm like, I'm sorry, man.
Pretty chaotic with Butcher at the helm.
Yeah.
But
They
it
got
gets shit
done.
done.
And I just feel like MM was like, so far, every operation you've done has gone wrong and also has been badly done, even in going wrong. I'm just like, no offense, MM, but I don't think you're cut out for this.
So Huey throws the acid on Newman, on the VP. Does nothing except burn her clothes.
Yep.
I'm just like, you wouldn't test this out on any of the couple of soups you got on hand?
Well,
see if the acid works on soups?
I guess Kimiko. I was about to say, you're not doing it on Starlight.
I guess it would work on...
Sure.
Why not? I guess it would work on Kimiko, but she would just heal.
Yeah.
But Starlight has the durability.
Yeah. What do you mean, why not?
I'm not saying drop a fucking bottle or jug of acid on her, but you could take a nondescript part of her body, like the top of her foot or something, and be like, we're just going to drop a tiny little bit.
Guess.
Let's see if this works on you.
I guess.
Before we go use it on another soup in the most stressful time you could possibly
I do agree. It'd be great to vet it. I just don't know if you pick your allies to do it on. I'm like, I don't know. They're the boys.
Saying,
They've captured other soups before. That's what I'm just like, I don't know. Go find some C
Come on,
tier,
if Frenchie wants to drug a soup, he's gonna try that shit out first.
I'm just saying, get yourself a D tier soup. No one cares about. Dunk them in acid. You don't be like, hey, Starlight, come here real quick. We're going to try some acid on you. Just feel like that's crossing the line when it comes to being a team.
Okay, can we talk about Frenchie and Kimiko and Colin?
Sure, why not?
For a second, and then just ignore it for the next hour of this podcast?
Yes, 100%, because I'm in that same boat.
Kimiko and Frenchie need to be together.
Mm-hmm.
This is bullshit. We all know they're going to end up together in the end.
I don't know. I've always been against Kimiko and Frenchie being together. So.
Fine. Look, at first I wrote, I don't have time for new people.
Yeah.
But I like Sage.
Mm-hmm.
I like
Sage.
Firecracker. There's some new people they're
Sage.
Bringing into this season that I'm for.
Mm-hmm.
Colin, fuck it.
Yeah.
Fuck Colin.
Especially because my thing is
I don't need this Frenchie Colin storyline.
Well, that's what I was going to say is, and no offense, because Kimiko is one of my favorite characters also.
It's got to really tie into some shit.
That's the thing is, I wrote this down in about episode 3 when they go on their own thing, is like, the problem with Kimiko and, Frenchie's, because everyone has their own shit they're dealing with in this season. Mm-hmm. But the difference is
honestly, I don't care about Kimiko's shit either.
Well, that's why I know. That's what I'm going to say. I was like, why Huey's thing is personally his mom. It's also about him as a person. So it kind of ties into him continuing. Like, he ignored his dad for the boys. So it kind of ties into his thing. Same with Starlight's thing. Has got it. Butcher's thing, of course, ties in. Mother's Milk thing is kind of him being torn between the boys and family life. All that ties into the bigger story. I'm like, but Frenchie's and Kimiko's stories have no connection.
We've also
been
what's
doing going on
for 3 seasons. We've been doing stuff with Frenchie and Kimiko.
Yeah,
all the Huey stuff was soup related. Mm-hmm. This is the first but
what I'm saying is their stuff
Huey
has no connection. Like once at first I thought they were just trying to make some weird love triangle for them, but once they made it that Colin was more than just some weird Frenchie is bisexual and Kimiko is jealous sort of thing. Once they made it clear, it's because Frenchie, for whatever reason, killed his family. I was like, okay, so there's more to the story. But I'm like, but the story, I don't see how it will ever circle back into the bigger boy story. So I'm like, so while this is more...
I could see Kimiko's maybe. She got is that her sister? I'm going to think with the scar thing.
Yeah.
And her and her vendetta to kill the people who trained her to be an assassin. We can talk about Huey for a second and then ignore it going forward. Huey's dad has a stroke and he's in the hospital and the mom shows up out of nowhere when she's been away since he was sick. They have a bunch of heart-to-hearts and a bunch of fights and whatever. Yeah. I don't care.
I just want to know if Simon Pegg spends this whole season in the bed.
I hope so. I got no problem with Simon Pegg. He's very 5 to me. Mm-hmm. He's just Simon Pegg.
Yeah. Well, my whole thing is just because I guess they could be using a dummy, a really good dummy or not. But if it is truly Simon Pegg, is he getting paycheck just to lie there?
Yeah, they had him shoot all of his scenes in one day
but
the
still,
whole
that's
season.
A day of pay right there. So I just get in bed and lie there? Cool.
Yeah.
I want that job.
No, he's getting standard rate for sure.
Yeah.
For a non-speaking role. Well, he technically left the voicemail. So he does have a speaking role.
He did speak this season. So, yeah, I think you're
all right. Back to the plot.
Yes.
The real plot. We get some Homelander stuff where he's just kind of zoning out throughout the days.
Mm-hmm.
He's going through a trial for murder because he killed that guy at the end of the last season, which he gets acquitted for.
Yeah.
And then we just kind of land into a board meeting. And what do you think of the new Black Noir? Because they killed the old Black Noir in the last season.
Yes.
Just when it was getting good with his storyline.
So that's the thing is I was wondering, and now I'm not sure if it's gonna pay off to be anything. Because at first, when he was like being black a lot more, being Black Noir before he started talking, I was like who is this? There's gonna be a big reveal when they reveal who this is, and I imagine there'd still be some sort of reveal at some point. But I was just like, the more he talks. And it's kind of like how everybody in the body and the soul feels. Like the more they talk, I'm like, dude, just stop talking. You're ruining the whole thing. It's funny, but also I'm just like, back before you're talking, like, oh, this is gonna be a mystery. Like, who's the new Noir? Like, it's obviously gonna be a hero we've seen before, and it may still be a hero we've seen before. But I'm just like, yeah.
I could use a good quarter episode of him just living the Black Noir life.
Yeah.
Like in the Black Noir house and learning the piano and all this stuff. Like just trying to. I love so many scenes where he's just like, I'm not getting the kind of direction I need for this role.
What is my inspiration?
Yeah. But they're trying to figure out new members for the 7. And they're going through a list. I would like to point out Talon. And one of his special skills is listed as 1/8 Navajo. Oof. It's so funny. If you pause, they flip through them so fast. But if you pause and read them, they're kind of hilarious.
But yeah, I was about to say they're going through the possibilities, and Homelander basically doesn't want any of them. He's just kind of sick of it's one of those things that I think is ridiculous. I mean, we do kind of see it play out once he meets Sister Sage. That it's possible. I just don't think it's possible for anybody who was in this room at the time. But he wants people to challenge him. And to and stuff, but I'm like, oh, the moment the deep back talks to you, you will laser him in half. So I'm like, it's weird that you're like, come on, why won't you guys just sycophant? Like, what are they supposed to do? What are you supposed to do? You will murder
decades, scaring the shit out of these people.
Yeah. I'm like,
of course they're scared of you.
You will murder them the moment they say anything. So why would they risk it? I mean, like I said, we get to see that the deep was about to give A-Train a blowjob. And I'm just like fully going there.
Hey, A-Train was about to take it.
Did you see Ashley's face?
No.
Oh,
was she into it?
Yeah, she starts smiling and biting her lip a little bit. I'm like, oh, Ashley's like, this is my dream.
She's kinky. She's kinky as hell, man. I love my girl Ashley, even though she's a terrible person.
Oh, I wrote down, I was like, especially this first episode and the third episode is when a lot of stuff happens towards her. And I was just like, every time something bad happens to Ashley, I was like, oh man, that sucks. I almost feel sorry for you, but you are such a terrible person. Is
Ashley the Ruth of this show?
Maybe.
I feel like she's gonna have a redemption arc pretty soon.
I can't.
Like A-Train's redemption arc through this season and last season is a hard one to pill to swallow as well.
I've been feeling his a little bit more, and I've been seeing ever since the beginning. Even though A-Train,
his has been a slower burn.
Yeah, it's been a slower burn, and even though A-Train has been a part of the 7 for so long, and he's done so many arrogant asshole things and murdered people and stuff. At least in my opinion, I always feel like you always saw little slivers of his humanity. Like even just his connection back to his original family. I don't know why I say original. It's just family in general. It's still like there's still a little human in him somewhere. And it's definitely coming out more lately. But so that's why A-Train's turn hero arc, for me, I was like, it always felt like this was coming. Like I think that's how I felt about it.
So Homelander, he's going through the list and he decides that he wants to meet Sage.
Yes.
Sister Sage.
Yep.
And he goes to meet her incognito. And she is the smartest person on the planet is the
world's
tagline.
Smartest woman is like person. She corrects.
And she just deconstructs him immediately. Yeah. She is not scared of this man.
Yeah. Every episode of this show so far, I have grown to like. I mean, but also hate because she is a great villain. I have grown to like/hate Sister Sage more with every episode.
Well, because
in the beginning when she first is just like talking down to Homelander, or not talking down to him, but like dissects him, and she even goes up to him like when he's like, I can't believe you say that. It's like, well, if you want to laser me, go ahead. Like you just see how like she's just so frank about it, and I love this character. And then and that was when I saw her. I was like, I wrote down originally, I was like, she seems like a true neutral character. And then as things started going, I was like chaotic neutral, and I was like, oh no. Now I'm like chaotic evil.
But do we know that? Do we know that? Right?
Yeah,
Because
I know
for
there
all
is
we
a part of me that also
this
holds
is a
out.
long game.
Yeah,
and that she's just all in it for herself, or maybe she's a good guy.
Yeah,
or...
I know that is a part because of her level of smartness. As I said, she's smart. I'm like, she could be like you said. She's playing as people's third dimensional chess. Like she's so many steps ahead of everybody.
Chess at this stage,
I'm like, she's so many steps ahead of everybody. That so like there is a part of me that's like, maybe this is all a long play.
Yep.
But if it's not,
I think it is.
If she truly is on Team Homelander, or not Team Homelander, because I was like, the more I see her, I was like, she's more of a. If she is truly evil, she's more of a villain than Homelander ever was. Because and as long as she keeps him in heel, which she kind of can to some degree, I'm not sure if it will last forever. I'm like, she has the most powerful being under her hand, and with her brain power, like I'm like, Homelander's scary, but like, he has to be there for me to be scared of him. Where Sister says, I'm like. She doesn't have to be in the room. I'm just like, what's she doing right now? What's she thinking? Like, Homelander not in the room, I'm not scared. Like, whatever. I mean, he could show up at any moment, but as long as he's not there, I'm like, whatever. He's Homelander. But Sister saying, like, he could be doing anything right
now. So there's kind of a side plot where Mother's Milk, Marvin, is trying to track down the ex-wife's boyfriend.
Mm-hmm.
And they track him to Sister Sage.
Yep.
Where
we should real quick clear up. Yeah, that Sister Sage, Homelander basically is actually like at first I thought you would, but he's actually impressed with Sister Sage and sees her as someone that is on his level, even though she's above his level, but is on his level, and recruits her to basically be his number 2 / kind of advisor. Like, I mean, he's given her a lot of power.
Yeah,
I mean, he's taken back.
He makes her the CEO of Vault.
CEO of Vault. Like she's giving. So yeah, she joins up with Homelander, and basically he tells her like he wants to rule. He wants to take over the Earth.
Yeah,
and she's like, I got a plan for that. And so
she's reluctant at first, and he's like, this is your chance.
Yeah,
we can do this on a global scale.
Yeah, test
out your theories.
Yeah, exactly. She presents some theories, and is like, well, we could do it, and that intrigues her, gets her in. But then, like you were saying, Mother's Milk is tracking his ex-wife's ex-boyfriend.
Yep. It's a web.
Yeah,
it's a web. But yeah, the ex-boyfriend he's kind of gone full MAGA.
Mm-hmm. Yep,
There's no other way to say it.
Look,
they're super
saga.
thick.
Saga.
Is it Saga?
I'm just saying soup. I guess
I don't know. Yeah, they don't have a good tag for the show yet for that part of it. But I mean, look, it's MAGA. It's
oh no, that's one thing I did wrote down. Like
it's alt right.
They're laying
it's
on
way too thick, way too
Trump / like you said, MAGA alt right allegory.
I don't like it. I don't like it for all 3 of these episodes. Where it's too like, oh, we're anti-vax, we're against trans people, everybody's a pedo.
In season 3, I felt like they were lighter about it, and it felt more like you was like, oh, I see the similarities, but they're not just like ham. Where this one is like, it's definitely a little bit more ham-fisted. I mean, they literally have a dude on the news who basically is just Tucker Carlson.
Yeah,
I was just like, that is 100%. But one thing I do want to say though is at one point when they're interviewing Firecracker, so he has a bunch of stuff on her back wall, and one of the things he had was a Ron DeSantis sign. And I was like, Ron DeSantis exists in this universe.
That's funny.
I was just like, fantastic.
Anyway, they end up killing with baseball bats these 3 kind of MAGA guys, including the Mother's Milk's
ex-boyfriend.
Boyfriend.
There you go. You got it.
Yeah. and then we switch over to the not guilty verdict.
Yeah.
Of the Homelander murder trial, and there's the 2 factions. There's the pro Soup and the anti Starlight, the pro Starlight and the anti Soup groups. Yeah. Which is odd that the Starlight group is headed up by a Soup.
Yeah.
Even though they're the anti Soup group, that's kind of messes with me a little bit. But anyway, a fight is instigated by Sage, by Sister Sage,
pretending to be a Starlighter. Just to make it clear, like And
very common.
Instigates the fight. huge fight breaks out and gets out of control. And it's mostly the Starlighters getting beat up, though, until it's revealed those 3 bodies of the
weak liberal bastards
of the MAGA bros, essentially. I gotta say, during this fight, I know we're skimming over this, but I do have to go back to Colin and Frenchie. This is where Frenchie has his moment where he realizes he does like Colin, love Colin. I don't know what you call it. And
we decided we were not going to talk
I know.
about this
The only reason I
anymore.
got to bring it up is because, like, he saves Colin's life, and then they look at each other, and they stare into your eyes, and they kiss. I'm like, hey, guys, I'm glad you found each other, but there's a fucking riot going on now.
This
There
is
are
the
better
season
times.
of wrong time for that. Okay, there are so many things that happen this season where it's just like, there's more important activities going on.
Yes. Like, I'm happy for you. Yeah, and I'm glad you found each other. But right now, while everybody else is trying to kill each other, maybe we could take care of this first.
Yeah.
Then you can go over there and do your thing.
But A-Train drags in the bodies they killed. Oh, and they make it look like a fake attack on, like.
Real quick.
I mean, this is good strategy.
Yeah. And real quick, circling back to when they killed the bodies and back to A-Train. Once again, like I said, he's not a good guy, but A-Train couldn't kill the innocent guys. Like, he blocked them, but then he goes and then he stops, and it's Black Noir. He finishes off the 3rd one. So, like, that's where I'm like, see, A-Train still has some humanity in him. Just not a lot, but still some.
I love Black Noir later. He's like, I've never killed a dude before.
Well, I love Black Noir doing it. It's like, they kill all of them, and then Homelander's like, stay here and await further instructions, and leaves. And then I think it was his first line. Black Noir's like, guys, that was fucked up, right?
Yeah.
It's like,
that was his first line.
Yeah,
that was his first line.
But yeah. So basically, it looks like they make it look like the Starlighters got out of control, killed some people. I want to jump back real quick though, because we passed over something when MM goes with Butcher goes to the CIA headquarters to I don't know,
check
debrief.
In. Yeah.
Debrief. They don't let Butcher in the room, and he bumps into our new character, which is
he's not a new character. I thought he was. I thought
showed
we saw him
at the end of last
season,
season, but we didn't. I don't even got introduced to him. He just kind of showed up and said a line, and then we moved on. But yeah, we got introduced again, I guess, to Joe. Now I can't remember his name.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah,
he's just Joe. He's CIA Joe. He didn't get a last name.
And so played by Jeffrey Dean Morgan. And they're having this scene where they're sitting there having coffee, talking about what's going on, and Joe's offering Butcher to help him with his stuff. And the whole time I was watching, I was like, you could swap these 2 men in these roles and you get the exact same show. I was like, you could make freaking you can make Jeffrey Dean Morgan into Butcher, and you can make Carl Urban into Joe. I'm like, same scene.
I mean, Carl Urban.
Carl Urban has the accent going, but other than that, I'm just like, no, man. They both play these kind of hard edge characters really well.
Yeah.
And also, when you watch on Amazon Prime, and if you pause a scene, it pops up like who's in the scene, what music's playing, and maybe a little tidbit. And a little tidbit for this scene, Robert, because I paused it, it's like this scene is a reunion of Jeffrey Dean Morgan, and I forget what the dude's name, who was one of the directors of the previous show they were together on, Supernatural. And I was like, now even Amazon is doing the Supernatural references.
Oh, there's another good Supernatural connection coming up in the 3rd episode.
Of course there is.
Or 2nd episode.
Of course
2nd episode, yeah. Yeah, a really big Supernatural connection. Yep. All right, we're going to take a break there, and when we come back, we'll talk about episode 2.
All right, we're back.
Maybe a little quieter.
We're back with episode 2, Life Among the Skeptics. And we get to start this episode out with a nice, heartfelt, real good movie starring A-Train.
Yeah. With random Will Ferrell.
I love, so once again, like I said, when you pause the movie, it tells you who's in the scene, what they're playing, and so when you pause it when it's in the filming part, you pause, it says Will Ferrell playing Coach Mintz or whatever and stuff. But then once they call cut, if you pause again, it says Will Ferrell playing Will Ferrell.
Nice.
And I was just like, nice. Because they I mean, you very quickly catch on that as a movie, but for 1 second I was like, is this like an A-Train flashback to when he was a kid and stuff? And so I was like, did they get Will Ferrell to play a role in the show? But no, they're just making one of their terrible what is it? Terrible vault movies.
7 movies, yeah.
I do like when Will Ferrell's like, they're like, you're doing so good. It's like, am I? You don't think I've given too much of a blind side type of feel? I was like, nice.
He's like, why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you? Oh my God, I can't believe that it all turned out to be like a lie. The blind side stuff. Oh my God.
Yeah, that was messed up. Because everyone loved that movie. Everyone's
Get a little bit more Black Noir. He is not handling the new life too well.
He is just like he just wants to. He needs his inspiration. He needs to know what he's doing more. I wrote down at the time. Then we see clearly later that he does. Because at first I was like, does everyone but Homelander know that Black Noir can talk?
Yeah, right.
And then it was like, oh no. Eventually we see a scene where Homelander is right there with everyone. So everyone knows, including Homelander, that Black Noir is somebody who is acting.
We get a little bit of Kamiko talking to a therapist.
And
I'm wondering, like, did the therapist not know she was Soup?
Yeah.
Like, did she find out she was Soup in this?
In this scene.
When she breaks the chair?
Also, actually, going back to the first episode, I got to say, and this just shows how up their own ass everybody in The Boys is on. I was like, how long has everybody known Kimiko? And no one else has picked up sign language.
Yeah.
For fuck's sake. She's on your team, and no one else can talk. Because Huey literally says, well, I'm sure I agree completely with whatever you just said. I was like, you don't know sign language, Huey? You've been working with this woman for how long?
Huey seems like the kind of guy who would learn some sign language. Yeah.
I was like, you guys are so full of yourselves.
Or I feel like Starlight, as part of her whole thing, would have learned sign language, like as part of her circuit career. Like, yeah.
I'm just like, the fact that only person she can talk to is Frenchie.
Like
still.
Butcher's not learning sign
No,
language.
I get it, Butcher. And like could, but I know no. But Huey and freaking
Starlight, Annie. Yeah.
And then, honestly, the only reason why Frenchie knows sign language is because he wanted to fuck her. He didn't know to begin with, and he just wanted a chance. If he didn't find her attractive, he wouldn't know sign language either. No one would. They wouldn't even take the time. Anyways, back to the thing. Kimiko basically going through some therapy. Apparently,
did she talk at some point in the last season? I can't remember.
No.
Okay.
No. I thought at one point they like shift the camera to her when like everyone was looking at her. They were about to have her talk, right? I was like, whoa, we gotta eat her. You can't just have her just drop her first line in episode 3 of a 8-episode season. That's like episode 8 sort of shit right there.
That's the end of the show. She says something at the very last scene, or it's like I always like Butcher dies, and she's just like I always hated that guy.
No, I think we kind of got to see that. So yeah, basically Kimiko goes to her thing and then comes back. That everyone's meeting up, and Butcher tells everyone that he's having visions of his wife, and
that he has cancer.
And that's when fires him. And I kind of feel like Kimiko made that little dick thing when he came back in and was like holding up to him. Like I think Kimiko is actually on like she likes Butcher. I think she just sees like the good in him from her silent perspective, and so I think she likes him. I think. Because he seems upset when Mother's Milk fires him. Yeah. And like ever since, under Mother's Milk, she seems a lot more pissed off at him than she was at Butcher.
Well, yeah, because Mother Milk's like got the reins.
Yeah.
Held tight.
Yeah.
Where Butcher was like, okay, go massacre.
Go do what you got to do.
We get the Ryan reveal pitch meeting.
Yep. Yeah. And his superhero name of Homeboy. I do love that Sister Sage is like, that's dumb as fuck. I'm like, thank you, Sister Sage. I was like, thank you.
I like the crime itinerary.
This is your first save. I was like, how do they know it's gonna happen? I'm like, oh no, they literally are making up a freaking crime for him to do.
I wasn't expecting this Sage/Deep like camaraderie.
We're jumping to episode 3.
Well, I mean, they gotta start this in the elevator.
Or like, where like
that's
Ashley
true.
Yeah,
talks
Ashley
crap
Bad
to the
Mouse.
Deep, and then she's just like, "Hey, you're above her. You're a genetically better person."
This is one of the times where I was like, hearing her say it. There's a part of me that believes because of how smart she is. I could feel like. See, like how Homelander is talking about, like how he always feels like he's in a room full of idiots. I'm like, Sister Sage, especially if she's as smart and how observant she is of everybody else. Like, she has to feel like that around everyone all the time. So there's a part of me that's why I do partly believe she is truly evil, is because she's just sick of her whole life. It's been like everyone is so dumb.
This is the opposite for me.
But on the other side, well, no, that's what I was gonna say. On the other side, I kind of her egging on the Deep and stuff kind of seemed like, more something you do if you were like looking for a way to ruin the Seven.
Yeah.
And so I was like, like I'm just watching. I'm like, her saying that stuff about being a supreme being. I'm like, that's evil. But who's he saying it to and trying to get to believe it? Kind of seemed like she could be trying to screw things up. So I'm like, like I said, I still don't know what this character.
No, I see it as she's like massaging the deep. She's like, oh yeah, you should be there to help homeboy, and you know, like what they do in the third episode and whatnot. I think she's just priming him for her own means. Well, I'm not saying she's good or evil. I'm just saying her goal is not to create a kingdom for Homelander.
Oh no. I definitely see it as she wants to make a kingdom. If she is
she's
evil,
got her own thing.
She's making her own thing where she's in charge, and Homelander is just her figurehead. And I guess muscle, because I definitely like I said, she is, and she's the actress. I forgot who is. She's just killing this role because like she is, like I said, she's just talking and stuff and like, doing stuff. But ever since she's been introduced, I'm like, this chick is way more of a villain than Homelander ever was. I'm just watching. I'm like, this chick is dangerous. I'm like, this is Homelander's like, oh, like this. This is a chick you watch out for. Cause I'm like, this chick is dangerous.
Played by Susan Hayward.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. That's not Hayworth. It's Hayworth, right?
What?
This is not. What's his name's? Am I thinking of the different actor name?
I have no idea who we're talking about at all.
The guy plays who's our main dude who's in the Allstate commercials.
Haysbert. You know that? Yeah, David. I actually had something to talk about with
Whoa. Okay, I got some. Okay, we got to talk about this actress for a second.
All right.
How old do you think she is?
I feel like you saying that now, that means he's older. And also, there's always a stipulation of black don't crack.
Oh,
so I'm going to go with 40.
41.
Okay.
She was born one day after me.
Oh, snap.
In the real world.
Nice.
Yeah.
No, the reason, it's Dennis Haysbert.
There we go. Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I was gonna say, I was like, when you said how old, like, was he definitely? Because I was gonna place her as younger, but then I was like, nah, she's definitely gonna be older if he's asking me how old, and I was like, all right.
She was in 22 episodes of Orange Is the New Black, a show that I should see and never have.
I watched it, and I think a lot of people say this.
She was in 10 episodes of Vinyl. That was a great show that I watched. I don't remember.
I was gonna say the first 2 to 3 seasons of Orange Is the New Black is fantastic, and then it just starts it was a show that should have ended way before it did. I think there's 7 seasons, and I think only the first 2 are worth watching. I enjoyed it in the beginning, and then I just was like, okay, thank you. You can wrap this up now.
Anyway, fantastic actress, fantastic role, great.
Anyways, moving on. Yep. Though, see, you brought up Dennis Haysbert. I forgot when we talked about Pluto. I know this is totally awkward, but did you catch Keith David in Pluto?
I did not.
Oh, yeah. He plays one of the scientists. And as soon as you start talking, I was like, I know that voice. I was like, he has a very distinctive voice. Anyway,
oh, no, I did. Yeah. I do. Yeah. He plays the main scientist guy.
And I was like, I was just sitting there, that's freaking Keith David, right?
He's a good voice actor. He does some crazy stuff. Yeah. He should do every documentary ever.
Yeah.
I mean, his one where he does the Civil War or whatever is so good. Yeah.
I mean, Morgan Freeman's getting up there. It's time. Keith David. It's time for him to slide into that role.
Yeah.
Anyways, moving along
to Garden Inn.
Well, I was gonna say this was another one of those times where I just was like, "Poor Ashley," but you also suck because now having to take it from Homelander all the time is already bad enough. Now you're taking it from the deep. I'm just you're at a new low when you're taking it from the deep. Also,
yeah. But I mean, at the end of the day, Ashley knows it's all you're bullying somebody until they fight back, especially when they could literally rip you in half.
Yeah. Throw you into the side of a building or whatever. Yeah. But anyways, moving on.
Yeah. They track the Sage to the Vought Garden Inn and to TruthCon. The anti-science convention. Yeah. It was funny though because there's a lot of stuff that memorabilia and stuff they had that was actually true.
Yeah.
Soldier Boy is a CIA what is it called? A
Sleeper
prisoner
agent.
or whatever.
Yeah.
And because they were literally, the CIA has Soldier Boy imprisoned somewhere, like on ice.
Yeah. It was just like it's like, unlike conspiracy theorists in the real world, these guys, some of them actually are onto something.
And again, it's back to this is not the time for that. Kamiko just starts getting drunk.
Yeah, so he has just flashback. She sees some stuff about the Shining Light, which is the organization that, captured her and forced her to be what she is. And she has a flashback. And then she just decides, time to down a whole bunch of beer, which I was like, I get it's stressful, but once again, there's a better time for this.
We get introduced to 2 new characters.
Mm-hmm.
First one is Splinter.
Yep.
Played by Rob Benedict, who plays Chuck in Supernatural.
Of course.
Major character.
Of course.
And Firecracker.
Yep. I mean, we saw Firecracker in episode 1, but we see he was just on TV.
Oh, I don't even notice.
Yeah. But, yeah. So we're introduced to these 2. There's Sister Sage is meeting with them, talking with them, and quiet. The whole time I was watching this, because of how they've made Sister Sage out, I was just like, she has to know she's being told, right?
Oh yeah.
And so that does happen a little bit later. But before that, we get to see Splinter's powers in effect as he's having a good time. I mean, this is just masturbation still, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like even if you split yourself into another person, it's still you. So it's just masturbating.
Yep. Yep.
Very, very strange.
Prime's always in front, though.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Better be.
Look, no. The way you do this is the Prime is nowhere within a continent of what's going on.
So if you haven't watched the episode, which I don't know why you're listening to it, but this is basically Duplicate from Invincible. He can split into multiple people, and I'm like, just like
and they have autonomy.
More so than Duplicate.
Yeah.
Because Duplicate, she can be any of her clones can become the main one. As long as they're away. But this guy, he has his main self.
Do we know that in the show, or is that just something in the comic?
What she said, even in the show, is she always has one of her clones, is the way she referred to it. She didn't say, I'm always.
Gotcha.
She says, I always have one of my clones in hiding. So that makes me think, like, as long as there is a Kate around, doesn't matter if it's the first Kate or one of the clones, they can just keep living on. But as soon as all of them die. But unlike Duplicate, this guy is like, no, there is a Prime him, and as long as he lives, his other clones can keep duplicating too. So as long as he lives. So yeah, I was just like, yeah, this dude, like, where Prime Splinter is in a in an underground bunker somewhere, just chilling.
Yeah.
He doesn't go out in public at all.
Yeah.
Like, even if you're not going to something dangerous, I don't care. You can get hit by a car. I mean, I guess he's a soup, so he probably would survive that. But I'm just like, no.
It seemed like him and his clones were just like
they did
non-durable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely. Prime me, if I had this power, Prime me is in a basement playing video games, just enjoying.
Definitely not in the middle of the brawl.
Yeah. Even if you take Prime you out, if a fight breaks out, like you keep sending clones of you, but then you also like you get in the way. Like, no, this man's just not smart. But anyways, and then
especially since the clones can clone.
Yeah, the clones can clone. Main you doesn't have to do it. I do like that. Unlike Duplicate, he doesn't clone clothes.
Yeah.
So he comes out naked, but it also makes me question.
By the way, hanging dong, low hanging. I want to know: is this CGI or is this the real deal? Because Rob Benedict's partner is either very happy or very not happy. There's no middle road.
Yeah.
Not average.
Yeah. But also, my question for this character, I mean, I guess not question, I mean, I guess it's just a lifestyle he lives, is because so like you said, Sister Sage knew that she was being followed the whole time, catches MM and them as they try to, spy on them. And she comes in with Firecracker and Splinter, who's in multiple bodies, or like there's multiples of them, and they're all wearing clothes. I'm like, so this man, whenever he leaves the house, he just has like a backpack with like 7 pairs of pants and 7 shirts, just in case. Because it's like, like he can split, but they're naked, and so if he wants to have multiple of him and not be,
but they're all wearing the same thing, so he's just buying like a 20 pack of white Hanes shirts.
Why would you? Yeah, I'm not going to be buying my clones designer clothes. They get a freaking a pair of basic jeans and white T-shirt. That's the way you do it. He ain't made of money, Robert.
By But anyway, yeah, there's a big fight, and the Prime ends up getting killed.
Yeah.
And then they all die.
Butcher ends up saving everybody because they were losing. But yeah, I do like, but it also makes me like, man, if Kimiko ever somehow lost her power, she's dead in an instant. Because like I feel like in earlier season before she knew she was invulnerable, she was a little bit more careful in her fighting.
Yeah.
But in this season, now that she knows she's invulnerable, she just throws herself at people. She's getting shot and stabbed nonstop. And like, if you somehow lost your power because of how you fight, you're dead in an instant. Because she gets jacked up she gets shot so many times. Like,
I want to know what happens to the bullet because she got shot in the head.
Yeah.
There's no exit wound.
It didn't get pushed
She just
out.
got a bullet in there.
Yeah, that's what it seems like.
Yeah. Rattling around.
Yeah.
So we get the Ryan save.
Mm-hmm.
I went goddamn.
Oh yeah.
When this happened.
Yeah.
Splat.
I just love. So before we get to see this save happen because it's all fake, acted out thing. We get to see Ryan practicing and with the actors and all that. And I love the guy who's just like, hey man, on the real day, actually throw me. And I'm like, dude, dude,
we need foreshadowing. Yeah,
I was like, dude, man, this is, and then Ryan just literally pushes the dude, but pushes him with so much force that he just flies and splats into a wall. And I just love Homelander's just like, come on, smile. I'm like, dude, your son just splattered a man across a wall. I know you're not a decent.
Well, I mean, they talk about later, like they have like the scene where he brings him the milkshake, and he's just like concerned that he's not even realizing that he thinks his son's concerned about killing the guy.
Yeah, he thinks his son is upset because he got upstaged by his dad. It was supposed to be his big moment, and he's like, no. I even Ryan looks at him like, no, I like nothing to do with that. But like I just killed a man, Dad.
But yeah, like to jump briefly to like the end of episode 3, where he's just like, oh, you got to get rid of your humanity. I'm like, it's gone, dude.
Oh yeah. I don't know what humanity he has to get rid of.
Yeah.
But yeah, we get to see Ryan's thing, and then we get to see the introduction of the new members to the 7. Oh wait, no, never mind. That's the next episode. I'm reading that line wrong.
Yep.
But yeah, Ryan does a save, and that's pretty much it, isn't it?
Well, we find out that, I mean, we don't want to go on the Colin thing too much, but we find out that Frenchie killed Colin's family.
It's one of those things of like, I don't care about the storyline in the show, but I do have a slight bit of not slight, but it's more of just like, I just feel like I felt 2 different times I thought it was already going to happen, and then now I'm just like, Colin's going to die. And not that I care, but the only reason why it is like, okay, there's no future where him and Frenchie are happy together.
Yeah.
Because it's either Frenchie is racked with guilt, their whole relationship, or Frenchie tells him, by the way, I killed your family. And then there's no way you have you can't tell a man, I killed your family. And he'd be like, man, that sucks in the past. Well, you want to go get some ice cream? Like, no, relationship done. So
or even if you just hold that shit in forever.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Then Frenchie's racked with guilt. Like he's already fucked up by it already. So I'm like, so there's no way it doesn't. And so I'm like, the only way this plays out is that Colin is essentially here to be what a lot of people hate, a Mary Sue, I think is what they're called, which is like a woman who is just put into a dangerous predicament, and a lot of times dealing with like sexual things, but also just assault or beaten or killed.
Yeah.
And they're just there so the hero has something to do, essentially. And I'm like, they just made Colin, if he dies, I'm like, Colin is a Mary Sue. He is just here to die, so Frenchie has something to go off of.
Dude, and the second that you tell this guy, who's like your AA buddy, right?
Oh, he's right back on
he's gonna OD.
The moment
that's where this storyline ends. Is Colin OD.
Oh man, I didn't even see it that way. I thought he was gonna die for something else, but honestly, I think you might have it right on the head, and that's that's the only reason he's here.
Yeah, I don't have time for this. They can shave off like several minutes from each episode just by getting rid of this storyline.
Yep.
We got bigger fish to fry.
We
are operating on a larger multinational scale in this show than Frenchie's love life.
Yes. And just I mean, don't get me wrong, Frenchie's a fine character, but I will say,
I love the Frenchie character.
In most of the seasons, when we start getting into the Frenchie stuff is when I start being like, here we go again. Like Frenchie with the boys and doing the boy stuff, I'm here for it. The moment like, hey, what if Frenchie was doing stuff on his own? Like, what if he wasn't, though?
He is the Cyclops of this show. Okay.
Yes.
It's like, can we just get back to some Robot Man and some Elastigirl and some Jane? Okay. We don't have time for.
I'm fine with Cyclops being along. I mean, he's there. Sometimes he even has some good lines and some good stuff. But the moment we start doing some solo Cyclops shit, I'm like, damn it. I'm sorry, Frenchie. I shouldn't say that about you, but it's true.
All right, we're going to take a break there. When we come back, we're going to talk about episode 3.
Mm-hmm. All right. Episode 3, we'll keep the red flag flying here.
I don't get that.
I don't really either. The other two made sense. This one, I don't know.
Homelander, it starts out Homelander at a rally for Vault International for the children.
Yep. Just, I mean, like we've already said, just full on trumping it up.
Yeah.
just, I was like, they are not even like lightly sprinkling it anymore. They're just, I mean, he's even saying things like, actually, I think it was a few, or like in the first episode during his court case, and it was like, you're not allowed to call the deceased victims. I'm like, oh my goodness. I was just like, they're just literally taking it right out of the real world. But anyways, going on about Starlight and all them, and then this is when we get introduced to our new sevens, or 2 parts of the 7, which is Sister Sage is officially brought in a costume, even though she hates costumes.
I like her costume.
Yeah,
though.
I think it's a good costume. I was like, hey, as far as it goes, hero, especially, it's just, let's be honest, in the world, chicks, they're always putting them in revealing stuff, and I like the fact that you as a hero, it's a pretty good looking costume. It's not revealing. You got, I think you lucked out comparatively to other ones.
I mean, the worst part is like the big nerdy shades.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then also Firecracker, who, I mean, I guess, and Sister Sage does explain like why she wants her in there, because it basically just makes a foil for Starlight and other things. But also, still, because that's what we forgot to say is supposedly last episode when Firecracker and Splinter were trying to kill the boys, like that was their audition to the 7, which I wish Splinter hadn't died, because I would have loved to see Homelander be like, why the fuck is this inbred redneck on my team?
Yeah.
But anyways, so I was put down. I was like, wait, Firecracker still gets to be on the team even though she didn't complete her mission. But like I said,
she tried.
She tried. Sage has bigger plan for her anyways, as we see.
But this crazy guy goes into the Starlight group. Center. And is like, I need the kids that are in the basement.
Yeah, I need to save the kids.
This is too thick. This is too heavy. This is too like cosmic pizza, whatever.
Yeah,
like
even what is it called? A cheese pizza.
You can do this, but you can do it subtle, writers. Okay, you don't have to be in your face with it.
Yeah, they're just laying it on thick.
We don't need to rehash 2020 or whatever. Yeah.
But Frenchie is there, luckily, to take him down. And then
Starlight doesn't stop him. Frenchie does.
It said Frenchie is there.
I'm not listening to you, I guess.
And I thought for a second, because Starlight comes around, and at first when he says Frenchie, she sounds like upset. And at first I thought she was going to get mad at Frenchie for taking the guy down. I was going to be like, hold up, sister.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to step in. Man had a gun, about to start shooting people.
Yep.
Frenchie, is he over violent sometimes? Sure. But you know what? Right here, I'm glad Frenchie was here. And luckily, like I said, he didn't get mad.
Yeah. We get a brief scene with the president and the vice president talking about the Super Management Act.
But before that, it was very clear it was supposed to be just the president and his inner circle and stuff. Where I'm just like, I just feel like literally, I think both of them are looking at that freaking what is it, like how there's I forget what the time between when you're elected president and actually become president is called, but like transition. They're during this transition period, both of them like, I have got to get the other one taken care of before it happens.
Yeah.
Like they're both just like looking at each other. Like I'm pretty sure. I mean, he even says it in the first episode. Like when they fell, it's like, oh, she's gonna know it was me. And it was like, yeah, they're both just looking at each other like we're both trying to kill each other.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure Victoria knows.
This bill goes really almost too far. But I mean, I get it. But it's like, okay, remove her from the military and the police and from doing vigilante stuff.
They're just entertainers.
But with the whole part of like, they aren't allowed to get any government jobs at all. Like that's a little too on the nose with like what they did to gay people back in the day.
Yeah. And it's also one of those things, also just going not the other direction, but just being like, when it comes to like, he's like, soups are entertainers. I'm like, dude, if you are going to risk your kid being fucked up because if the gin that doesn't work out, your kid gets all messed up and stuff, ends up on one of those farms. If you're gonna risk, I mean, I guess there are some people who are this shallow, but just getting your kid on some experimental drug to get superpowers just to be an entertainment, like,
yeah,
I'm just like, there's no like, soups were never meant. It's because like some of the things like you let Vault get too much control. If you would have always had some,
I was always surprised that there were so many soups.
Yeah,
like I mean, I guess there's a lot that you just like you roll the dice and not all of them are like 7 material.
Yeah.
But I would think that Bot wouldn't want to let that many just be made.
Yeah. Oh yeah. All right. So we get back to Kimiko. She's been looking into the group Signing Light.
She's a hacker now.
Yeah, hacker now. And she goes to Frenchie to get his help after Frenchie just did a couple lines of something.
Hallucinogenic drugs.
Yeah. And I'm just like, I mean, like I said, she doesn't know that, but once again, I was like, okay, well, I guess I feel like it's fair because she got drunk on, I guess it wasn't Frenchie's missing, but she got drunk when she was with Frenchie, so I feel like maybe Frenchie's just trying to pay it back of going on her mission while he's high. But as you were saying, I'm like, no, once again, it's like, yeah, maybe now's not the time to be going to fight a underground organization with Frenchie all strung up. But they head out. Oh yeah, we also got to see that Huey cannot fight at all.
Yeah.
But anyways, Butcher reaches out to Ryan through a video game.
Yep.
Basically Mortal Kombat, except it's soups.
And somehow more violent.
That's what I was going to say.
Mortal Kombat is violent.
I was
this
like
is something else.
I was just saying, I was like, Mortal Kombat ain't nothing like this. Psh, Mortal Kombat is some chicken shit compared to this. Like this game, it's like, damn.
Yeah. By the way, new people I do have time for, Octopus.
Yes.
Deep in the Octopus.
Ambrosia.
I can watch that all day. It's not new people technically.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Actually, that's one thing I wrote down, and maybe I'm just misreading it. I thought Homelander forced the Deep to eat his octopus last season.
I thought he got a new one.
Oh, is this a new octopus? Okay.
He did. He was forced to eat an octopus.
Yeah.
In the previous season.
That's what I thought. I thought once Homelander found out about it, he was like, "Nope, f that." But okay, maybe it's a new octopus. Which also, Ambrosia. Come on.
Or maybe it's the same octopus, but just the one that he ate was a different octopus.
A fake
because
one,
how would Homelander know?
Yeah, how would Homelander? Yeah, good point. You just get any octopus.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like how would you? Kind of what I was about to say is like, on one hand, he, took another. It shows that he doesn't value all your kind the same as he values you. So part of me is like, I'd be pissed as Ambrosia, but also he also did it to keep me alive. That's a hard call. I'm not sure. I'm just saying I don't know if I'd stay in the relationship. No.
Sage gets named the new CEO of Vault.
Yep.
Poor Ashley
demoted to mascot and fetcher, and.
Look, if I'm Ashley, I'm like, fine.
Yeah.
Long as the pay rate stays the same.
And all the stress that she's been under where now she doesn't have to make any of these choices.
It's like, I'm taking a vacation.
She doesn't have to deal with managing Homelander anymore. Honestly, this is a great thing for her, but Ashley gets in her mind that she's going to quit. And I'm like, Ashley, you can't quit. There's no quitting. The only way you quit is with a laser hole through your head. Which later she realizes.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Little bit of butcher baking.
I gotta ask real quick. Like, they've made it very clear that Homelander. We know from in the previous season when he's like flying up above, like scanning for him, and I forget, like they had like hide in specific places. Like he has super vision, he has super smelling because he has multiple times. He smells Huey. Yeah. He freaking smells Butcher and his son.
Super hearing.
Super hearing. I'm just like, how is the Deep getting away with Ambrosia?
Yeah.
How does he not know that octopus? I feel like either he knows and he's just letting it slide. Yeah. Because I'm just like, there's no way.
Also, Homelander has X-ray vision.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He has X-ray vision, super vision, freaking ultra hearing. He can smell everything. So I'm just like, he has to know that octopus is in the building. There's no way he doesn't know that octopus is in the building. Anyways, yes, Butcher cooking, making.
By the way, you cannot. I hate when they depict cooking in this way and that you can just whip it up.
Yeah.
I don't know. No, chocolate chip cookies is an all-day thing, okay? Because in order to get chocolate chip cookies that looks like the ones he make, you got to put that in the freezer for like a day.
Yep.
Like, you got to make them one day, freeze them overnight, and then cook them. Because otherwise, they just turn into these mushy things.
Yep.
Because you got to refreeze the butter.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. It's very true.
So upsetting.
I was like, get your bacon right.
Yeah, anytime I see somebody just like, oh, I'm going to go make a loaf of bread real quick. I'm like, no, I make my own bread.
Yeah.
That's not something you got to plan that out in advance. You don't just do it on a whim.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. But anyways, he's making these cookies with some special ingredients that he got from Joe.
Yep. That's supposed to be enough to drug Ryan.
Yes. They basically want to knock him out, which I just gotta say it. I don't know how Joe thought this would work. And also, I don't know how Butcher thinks it's going to work either once he goes to his plan of, just winning Ryan over. Because, either way, I'm like, Homeland, the moment you take Ryan, Homelander goes on a freaking
He
rampage,
goes berserk. Yeah.
Searching for him. And then I'm also like, plus.
He will burn the world trying to find out where the kid is. Yeah.
And then I'm like, plus, if you kidnap him, there's no way Ryan comes over to your side.
Yeah.
No way.
Well, their plan is to keep him drugged until they can brainwash him. Not Butcher's.
Yeah.
But Joe's plan is we're going to put him in a place where we can keep him from getting out, some kind of bunker, and they're going to keep him drugged till they can brainwash him into being their lapdog.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And eventually kill Homelander.
Yep. We have MM meeting up with A-Train to get him on the team, and seems like it might be working a little bit.
It seems like it is working.
Yeah. It's one of those things.
A-Train is now an asset. Yeah.
It's one of those things, man. Don't get me wrong. I want the people's life, but just this thing about it in the real world. If I had to interact with Homelander every day, and I guess you could say maybe this makes me a coward, but I think of myself as pretty brave. If someone had my friend at gunpoint, I've never been in something, but I think I would step up and say something, try and save them. But but that's because I know that person with a gun is still just a human. Yeah. But at the end of the day, Homelander is literally one step below a god. And so you call me a coward, call me whatever. When you just talk about we got to convince someone to turn on Homeland. This man lives with a man who can literally liquefy me. I don't know if you could. Maybe that makes me a coward. I don't know. I'm just saying if I'm in that same position where they're like, hey, we want you to flip. Even if I'm a good person, I'm not even as messed up as an A-Train. I want you to flip on Homeland. I'd be like, excuse me? You want me to? That guy. The guy that can kill all of us in an instant. The guy who can hear us anywhere.
Exactly.
In the 50-mile radius.
100% what I'm saying. No, as soon as A-Train's like, okay, we're going to have this conversation, you pick up Mother's Milk and run him to the other side of the country.
You're in Antarctica.
And be like, now we
can talk. Yeah.
Because otherwise, Homelander's going to hear you.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just flipping anyone.
Because there's a scene in season 1 where he talks about hearing them talk from 20 blocks away or something like that. Yeah. It's crazy.
No. But apparently they were far enough away because Homelander doesn't know.
We get the scene where Kamiko's attacking the Shining Light.
Yeah.
First of all, why did she even need to bring Frenchie?
No clue. Yeah,
she didn't need backup.
Didn't need Frenchie at all. She handled everything just fine.
Frenchie's just in the way, honestly.
Yeah. I was about to say, her sister or whoever
there's a girl with the scar.
Yeah.
That we don't know if that girl with the scar is superpowered or not.
No.
And we don't know what her deal is.
Nope.
We're assuming sister, maybe.
Yeah. Could be just good friend or just.
But somebody she was just locked up with or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So Ryan, and once again, no idea how this is even possible. Ryan goes to see Butcher.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how?
Yep.
How did he leave that building? How did Homelander not?
Well, he can fly. And Homelander's off doing something else. But Homelander should have heard him.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just saying he's all, and still, even if not, I'm just like, how does Homelander not have someone telling his son all day, every day? It turns out later he didn't need to, because when Ryan gets back, he can smell Butcher on him, because that's just one of his powers. He can smell anybody. But anyways, but yeah, he goes off to see Butcher. Butcher tries to give him the cookies, but he won't eat. But then You know, they have a real heart-to-heart.
Yep.
Butcher gets real for a second. I wrote down earlier, and even seeing this when he's being genuine, I'm still just like, I don't know how. I mean, maybe he wasn't always this much of a bachelor, but like, how did Butcher and Becca get together? How did these
I've thought about that as well.
End up together. Like, we didn't
because she likes the bad boys.
I guess
that's why she likes the bad boys. Anyway,
yeah.
I mean, can you imagine? Because like the kids, like I know when you're lying to me now.
Mm-hmm.
Could you imagine if you're like a child, like 12, and all of a sudden you know when everyone's lying to you?
Yeah.
Ooh, that is gonna mess you up.
Because
everybody's lying all the time. Yeah.
Every adult in your life lies to you, kids. I hate to tell you that. Also, why you listen to this podcast? We're not for you. No.
We have a brief scene where Starlight goes to see Firecracker, and we find out that they have passed.
Yep. And Firecracker or Starlight sound like a real bitch, real bully. That fucking sucks. But I'm like, yeah, I don't know. I know Firecracker probably doesn't know all the ins and out what Sister Sage and Homelander are doing. But she, even before she joins up, she's instigating all this stuff with the alt-right people. I'm like, hey, I get it. Being bullied sucks, and she was terrible to you, and I get that. But joining the Supreme Right, Reich, I mean, and the trying to overthrow humanity, like that's a big step because you were bullied. I'm just saying that's a big step because you were bullied. Like being bullied sucks.
She's basically Marjorie Taylor Greene or something like that. Yeah.
Except unlike that person who you just mentioned. Like I said, she does have a little bit of a ground to stand on because Starlight was a pretty bad person to her. But
but I mean, she moved on from that. Yeah. Holding a grudge for too long.
Yeah. And then we get to see the great Vault on Ice.
Yep.
Which still stars Queen Maeve, which I guess he didn't have a terrible she did have a falling out.
Maeve is
with
dead,
the 7.
right?
It's up in the air.
Okay.
It's theorized that she's still alive, just living in hiding, depowered. But anyways, so Maeve, our star in Queen Maeve, and all I gotta say is, what I wrote down is like, I'm pretty sure Queen Maeve wouldn't back any of this.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Like, all the stuff they're having her character say, I'm like, she would be down for any of this. But yeah, they're running another mission that goes terribly wrong.
Yep.
And from this, as we've seen them now do 3 different missions, all under the helm of Mother's Milk, I'm just saying it. You can't do it. You're not cut out for the role, man.
Butcher would be like, "This is a terrible idea."
Yeah, I'm just like,
this isn't going to work.
You're just not cut out for the role.
I mean, so Huey, he's in the vents above Homelander and Victoria. Newman and Sage, and they're discussing their whole plan of killing the president and whatnot. And I'm just like, he gets caught by the sweat drip.
Yeah,
I'm like. Yeah, Homelander would have known he was there by the smell,
or just
sounds he was making.
He makes they literally made a sound right before they started talking, and I thought he was about to get caught, but like they just keep talking, and I was like, what's that? Homelander knows, but yeah, no, they get basically Huey gets to listen in on basically their plans to take out the president and then take over the world essentially.
Yep.
With Vault at the helm, which is just the soups.
Yeah, put a soup in charge of all the police forces in America.
Yeah, and a soup for every city, I think he said, or maybe it was every state. I can't remember. But yeah, I'm just like, this is gonna be great. I really just love the when Huey the drop of sweat comes down and Homelander's like, I smell him, and like shoots a laser, and I'm just like, no. Yeah, there's no way Huey moved fast. Like
also, he would be able to see him with his laser, with his X-ray vision through the vents and stuff like that. Yeah,
I literally went up like, there's no way. Other than that plot armor, somebody was like, no, Huey is now dead. Huey is dead. In any other universe, parallel universe, this is the one universe that Huey somehow survived. Because in any other scenario, 99.9% of the time, Huey's dead.
I thought it was gonna be a thing where he Mission Impossible caught it with his hands, but then Homelander was still gonna hear it and be like, "Did you guys hear that?"
Yeah,
and start looking around, and then looks up at the vent and sees him.
Yeah, but then Huey.
I was surprised that Homelander was just like, "Okay, I'm gonna kill this guy now."
Yeah,
I'm like, you could kill him at any time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
like I literally I don't get how the boys are not dead. I don't get how they're not dead. Like when Ryan.
I think Homelander knows if he kills Butcher, then Ryan's gonna turn on him.
Sure.
He probably can't outright kill Starlight necessarily.
Yeah, I feel like Starlight.
Probably not Kimiko either.
Why not Kimiko?
Because she's gonna just regenerate.
I don't know. I feel like if you laser all of Kimiko away,
Yeah, I mean that's a question that needs answering.
Yeah, like I was say, like Starlight. The reason why I said why he can't just outright kill Starlight isn't because of her powers, but it's because of who she is, like in the public eyes. Like if he blatantly just ends Starlight, they're like, because that's something, especially with her being a soup, who's that durable. Like, yeah, only people who could kill Starlight are going to be other soups. So if she turns up dead, it's going to be instantly. You can't be like, oh, maybe she just got hit by a random mug. You're like, no, this was a soup. So like that's why they can't kill Starlight. I agree with you. Yeah, Butcher probably has some armor because of Ryan, but the Mother's Milk, Frenchie, Huey, and frickin' Kimiko. I'm like, why are you guys alive? I'm just like, how are you still alive?
But anyway, he's trying to search for Huey and laser him down.
Yep.
And Mother's Milk shines some light in his eyes just as he's about to do his laser beams.
Yep.
And cuts the fake Maeve
in half. Like I said earlier when we were like, I mean, there was already plenty before this, but earlier when we were like, oh, we didn't get to see Kimiko's face, so they're toning it down. I was like, this scene right here is like, nope. Not at all, folks. I mean, there were scenes before this, but this scene really is like she just all over the ice.
Man, they do so good at killing people in this.
Show.
Yeah. But then everybody on the ice starts freaking out, and especially Jesus.
And
he just goes on a rampage.
Homelander killed that one woman. Jesus did it. I mean, I guess the one who got her hand cut off is probably okay.
He's skating on ice. Someone falls down. He cuts off all their fingers.
Hand. He steps on somebody who fell down as he's trying to get out of the ice rink and like literally cuts his guts open. Yep. He's probably dead. And then when he's swinging his leg over the banister, he just cuts somebody's throat open. So that person's dead. So Jesus
killed like I'm just saying, maimed or killed 3 people.
I'm just saying Jesus 2, Homelander 1. Because and one person who's just got no fingers.
2 4/5.
Yes. 1/5. It was just her fingers.
Yeah. Huey survives because A-Train saves him. And Huey's very quizzical about this. He's like, the guy who started this whole thing for me just saved my life.
Yep. Like, it's one of those things. I get Starlight and Huey's resentment towards A-Train, but also not so much mainly just Huey.
Mostly Huey,
Just Huey. I get his resentment. Because, no, the dude literally murdered your girlfriend. And that's going to be a hard one to
Manslaughter.
Murder
makes it sound like
true. It wasn't, he manslaughtered your girlfriend. And not even manslaughter. Because manslaughter usually means that you were meaning to harm the person and you killed him. I think it's like called accidental homicide when it's like you weren't intending to, but you did kill somebody. But anyways, and has never or didn't show any remorse for it and all stuff and has been an asshole. So I get Huey, but like Starlight, A-Train has, even before the season, there's a few times he's done stuff for Starlight that I'm just like, you can't hate him this. Like when Mother's Milk starts going like, hey, we should see if we can turn A-Train, when she's like, no. I'm just like, why, Starlight? I guess maybe she's just standing up for her man. Maybe that's it. She's just trying to be there for Huey. Yeah. But I'm like, you can't be this against A-Train.
Sage in the Deep. Not expecting that.
Did not.
I think Sage is playing the Deep.
Like, so here's the thing. Why I really think that also, because like when it first, and I know that sometimes they say like when you're, if you're over mentally stimulated, sometimes you just want some dumb shit to watch. Like you watch the dumbest shit on TV. But I'm almost like, she's like watching like some Real Housewives shit.
Yeah.
And like, you're the smartest person. I was about
sometimes
to say woman.
You gotta shut off the
exactly,
brain.
That stuff. But also like the way she's acting, like she's like also like it's very deep appealing. Where part of me is like, I feel like maybe this is a ploy. Like, yes, he has that bloomin' onion. So he got some garbage TV on because he knows he likes some garbage TV, and she's just acting like she's just chilling, hanging out, which is something he would enjoy. And so I like, no matter what, see, whether it's because she's actually either A, gonna like take over all by herself, or he has a plan to get rid of Homelander, or B, she's like going on a plan with Homelander, or C, she's like actually good and it's gonna turn out she's been doing stuff behind this. C is scheming no matter what. Like she's just everything she does, it's something. Like even this weird deep fling, something's going on.
So theories on the harpoon thing that she's got. It's like a fire poker or something. It's all bloody at the end.
Yeah.
I think she killed the octopus.
That's the only thing.
I don't know who else she could have killed.
I don't know what else it could be for. Like, yeah. And why? Because they show it when she's with the Deep. And my theory is that she killed it, but she's going to make it seem like Homelander did. or something.
Maybe.
You know, because like you said, if she's got plans in the background, and like also like she's.
Well, I mean, the Deep be cheating on Octo.
Yeah, but also the other thing is like also like I said, that's one thing is she starts talking up the Deep to make him more servant. So like maybe she's like I don't know. I just feel like maybe she's not that it's like he has a chance, but like maybe she's like thinking of like making him a counter to Homelander for some other reason.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, definitely going to get the Deep killed.
Kind of wrap this thing up with Homelander getting mad at his son.
Yep. Ryan comes home from hanging out with Butcher.
Yep. And then we get classic Homelander.
Mm-hmm.
He's got not just one, two, three, four personalities
only
now.
3 of them talk though.
Well, I mean, there's him.
Oh, okay, yeah.
There's him, and then three mirror personalities.
Yeah. One that is like very rational and like, hey man, you gotta grow from this. And then one of them like, kill them all. And then also like that other one, like I guess
the real crazy
one.
That's like you just gotta transcend humanity.
Transcend humanity. I'm just like, damn. But Homelander telling him that he needs to go home. We can see a bunch of flashbacks of where Homelander was
to the
created.
asylum where he was raised.
Yeah.
It's getting interesting. It's getting crazy. Good start.
This is season 4.
They aren't slacking on this season so far.
Yeah, this is season 4. Like we said, I think last week or before, the creator of this was like, "Yeah, we imagine 5 seasons," and now he's like, maybe more. And me and you both agree, like 5. Let's.
It has gone back to 5 seasons and done.
Good, thank goodness. Because also, this whole time with Butcher being like, Butcher being dying and stuff. I'm like, how do you take this past that? Like, there is no The Boys with if the Butcher dies.
Yeah.
Like, you can't if Butcher dies. So I was like, you can't continue on. So I'm glad to hear that's back there because I'm like, yeah, just you had a plan, stick with it. That's how you make a good show, folks.
As always, you can find us on our website, watchinitpod.com. There you can find links to our social media and to email us, watchinitpodcast@gmail.com. Donnell, what else should they do?
Well, we just got done doing a unique episode for us. We got to do an interview with the director and lead actor from the show Chaser, which is on Amazon Prime right now. Really good interview. Had a good time. Got to really pick their minds about the show and just the process and all that. So you should check that out this Friday. And it took a bit to
back on the schedule.
We're back on the schedule, and it took a bit to get through those 3 episodes because, as we said, they are thick. But luckily, from this point forward, it's 1 a week. So yeah, we're gonna be watching those right along with you, breaking down each one. So go out, enjoy the show, get to watch all its goriness because they definitely aren't holding back, like we said. And then give us any rage reviews. 5 stars. Thank you so much for listening. Bye.